There's a story making the rounds that's reportedly tearing through the very heart of the House of Windsor. A power move so decisive, there's apparently no turning back. Prince William, the future king, is said to have laid down a new law, a cold, hard rule for his future reign. But the most stunning claim? This power play has allegedly left his greatest ally, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, in a state of complete shock. We're about to break down this dramatic narrative and ask the big question. Is this the beginning of a new, ruthless era for the monarchy, or is there another story entirely? For years, we've all watched Prince William prepare for his destiny. He's the heir, the man who will one day wear the crown and guide the British monarchy into a new generation. But a new and frankly startling narrative is popping up in the tabloids and among royal commentators. A story of a prince who is quietly, but ruthlessly, drawing lines in the sand. This isn't just about planning. This is about power. The story goes that William, hardened by years of scandal and family drama, has created a new, non-negotiable doctrine. The core of this supposed policy is simple and brutal, permanent and total exclusion. According to this narrative, there will be no path back for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. There will be no return to public life for Prince Andrew, even in a limited way. This isn't being framed as a temporary timeout. It's being sold as a core principle for his future reign. As this alleged policy dictates, royals who cause scandal and are seen as disloyal will have no role in William's monarchy. Full stop. Commentators spinning this tale point to so-called friends of the prince who have reportedly said William doesn't forget and doesn't forgive easily. These anonymous sources, often quoted in gossip columns, paint a picture of a future king who believes that to save the crown, he must be willing to sacrifice family members for the stability of the institution. If you cross the line, they claim, that's it. Now, let's hit pause for a reality check. While this makes for a great story, there is no reliable, on-the-record evidence that Prince William has publicly announced or formally adopted such a personal, one-sided doctrine. Buckingham Palace certainly hasn't confirmed it. The current status of Prince Harry, Meghan, and Prince Andrew is a documented reality. Harry and Meghan chose to step back as working royals, and Prince Andrew withdrew from public duties after his own scandals. These were presented as broader family and institutional decisions, not the result of a singular, iron-fisted policy from William alone. The idea of a permanent exclusion doctrine is, right now, a dramatic interpretation, not a confirmed fact. This is where the plot, as told by some outlets, gets really juicy because it pulls in the Princess of Wales. For years, Catherine has been seen as the family's gentle mediator, the quiet force for reconciliation. It's this very image that makes the latest claims so shocking. According to a sensational report from the tabloid Closer, Kate has allegedly been trying to quietly mend the family's deepest wounds. The magazine claims, citing an anonymous source, that the princess had been making secret phone calls to a homesick Prince Harry. These conversations, the report alleges, had been going on for weeks, with Kate supposedly hoping to heal their feud once and for all and act as a peacemaker between the two warring brothers. And here, the narrative takes its most dramatic turn. The same reports claim that when Prince William discovered these secret communications, he was furious. It paints a picture of a prince who felt his carefully laid plans for a hardline approach were being undermined from within his own home. He supposedly saw these calls not as compassion, but as a crack in the united front he believes the monarchy needs to survive. The story suggests this created a moment of unprecedented tension between the Waleses, a genuine clash of wills. However, let's again underscore the source. These claims come from a tabloid magazine relying entirely on anonymous insiders. Kensington Palace has issued no statement confirming any such calls, nor have they commented on William's alleged furious reaction. In fact, some royal commentators have stated that their contacts at the palace have denied the story, saying Kate is respectful of William's feelings and wouldn't go behind his back. The idea of a homesick Harry and secret calls is, at this point, unverified gossip. The alleged conflict doesn't stop with the estranged royals in California. According to the celebrity magazine Heat World, another front in this supposed ideological battle is over the future of their own son, Prince George. The magazine has published stories suggesting difficult conversations are happening between William and Kate about the path for the young heir. In this telling, William is portrayed as rigidly planning George's life, mapping out his path to the throne with military precision because he wants his son to understand the weight of his future duties from a young age. Kate, on the other hand, is depicted as desperately trying to protect George's childhood and give him as normal a life as possible before the crown's full weight descends. This creates a classic parental conflict, magnified by the immense pressures of royalty. Again, the source for these intimate family details is a celebrity gossip magazine. There is no solid public evidence of such disputes over George's upbringing. It's a compelling human drama, but it's one that relies on anonymous sources describing the private thoughts and fears of the prince and princess. This narrative is sometimes paired with another unsupported claim, that William is leading a sweeping internet mop-up. This theory suggests the prince's team is working to scrub the internet of old, unflattering stories to meticulously control his public image. A search of public records and credible media reports reveals no documentation of any such organized digital purge being directed by William. It's a fascinating idea that fits the portrait of a prince ruthlessly controlling his image, but it remains an unsubstantiated rumor. In the absence of hard facts, many people turn to the silent language of royalty, body language. As the Princess of Wales has returned to some public duties, an army of self-proclaimed body language experts have flooded social media with their analyses. A common theme in the more speculative corners is that Kate's professional, so let's be real, body language analysis is not a hard science. It is inherently subjective. One expert sign of tension is another's moment of quiet reflection. In fact, if you look at more mainstream reporting, a very different picture often emerges. Following the public health crises faced by both King Charles and the princess, multiple credible sources and royal experts have described William and Kate's bond as appearing stronger. While the exact language varies by outlet, reports have often emphasized their united public front, describing a couple that has leaned on each other during a time of immense pressure. They point to subtle coordination and moments of mutual support during public appearances as evidence not of a rift, but of a partnership in lockstep. So we are left with two totally contradictory readings of the same events: the tabloid and social media interpretation of a marriage at a breaking point, and the mainstream narrative of a couple more united than ever. This brings us to a critical question. In today's media world, why do these rumors of tension and a power move keep swirling? Some commentators argue that the sheer persistence of these stories is evidence of their truth, operating on the principle of no smoke without fire. They suggest that in the old days, the royal PR machine would have swiftly and decisively shut down any whispers of a rift between a future king and queen. The fact that these rumors continue to circulate, they argue, must mean something. But that line of reasoning is itself a form of speculation. The royal household's media strategy has always been selective. They don't, and frankly can't, respond to every rumor published in every tabloid and on every blog. To interpret their silence on this specific narrative as confirmation is a huge logical leap. The reality is more likely a reflection of today's fragmented media, where two parallel narratives can exist at the same time. On one side, you have the official story, presented by Kensington Palace and reported by established royal correspondents, a story of unity, resilience, and a partnership strengthened by adversity. On the other side, you have a counter-narrative, thriving in the less regulated spaces of social media and tabloid journalism. This narrative is more dramatic, more conflict-driven, and, for many, more exciting. The battle isn't necessarily happening inside the palace walls. It's happening on our screens. So let's just play devil's advocate for a second. If we were to entertain this speculative narrative, what would it mean for the monarchy? What would happen if its future were in the hands of a couple with fundamentally opposing views on how to rule? This speculative framework presents a future king and queen with completely different playbooks. On one side, you have Prince William, the supposed ruthless institutionalist. In this telling, his goal is to turn the House of Windsor into a cold, efficient corporation, a streamlined firm whose main product is stability. He's the head, the CEO, who sees sentiment as a liability. On the other hand, you have Catherine, presented as the heir to the people's princess mantle. She represents the heart, the emotional intelligence, and the soft power that inspires public affection. Her alleged strategy is one of reconciliation, empathy, and connection. In this dramatic version of events, William's approach secures the monarchy's political survival, but it's Kate's approach that preserves its soul. This idea of Kate holding a competing strategic program for the monarchy is a powerful one. But let's be crystal clear, it is not grounded in any official, concrete evidence. It's a dramatic framework that commentators have imposed on the couple's public personas. There have been no public statements from the princess suggesting she is pursuing a vision in opposition to her husband's. The notion of a battle between a cold corporation and a people's princess makes for a compelling story, but it remains, for now, a work of speculative fiction. But what's your take? Is this all just a case of wild media speculation? Or do you believe there's a kernel of truth to these reports of a major shift in the monarchy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you find this breakdown of royal narratives compelling, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. In the end, we are left with two irreconcilable stories. The first is the official narrative, a prince and princess of Wales bound together by duty and love, emerging from a difficult period stronger and more united than ever. The second is a shadowy tale spun from anonymous sources and tabloid headlines, a story of a ruthless power move, a stunned wife, and a deep, growing rift over the very future of the crown. The claims of a hardline doctrine, of secret phone calls, and of furious arguments remain entirely unverified, originating from sources that are not considered authoritative. They form a compelling drama, but they lack the substance of fact. Yet, the power of these narratives persists. The Prince and Princess of Wales are facing one of the most challenging periods of their lives, both personally and publicly. As they navigate this, the question remains, will they emerge with the united front the world has come to expect, or are these whispers of division a sign of profound changes to come? We'll all be watching closely.